just add a little bit of commentary before we even start this intro video. First of all, I'll play it. This is a real video. Wrong one. Now I got to go back to Insurrection Barbie in the video and disable my camera.
Hell is this? The chairman tweets, "Protect our ducks and kittens in Ohio," because he goes down some crazy rabbit hole, completely debunked that aliens are eating pets. My God, are you okay, Mr. Chairman? Because last year, for a very long time, you tweeted and promoted Kanye West as he was calling for genocide against the Jews, and you kept it up. And now when we have victims coming here, you're tweeting this nonsense. I don't know why you would do this. I hope you're okay. I don't know if the aliens who are eating your ducks are in the room with us right now.
They're so funny. They're so funny.
Mr. Chairman, this is a serious issue. These people have loved ones who have been lost. And you tweeted this.
These people? What do you mean, these people, Mr. Swalwell? Holy crap. I thought that video was fake. I thought that video was fake because it was on somebody else's TikTok account. But lo and behold, Eric Swalwell posted it himself. This is why I genuinely get confused in life. When Kamala Harris reposts or shares that clip, "You better thank a union worker. I say you better thank." She posted that thinking it makes her look good, where other people post that video clip unedited to make fun of that raging jackass who's going to be the subject of today's show. Swalwell posted this. Like, it's not that someone posted that video. I thought the video was fake. Okay. I heard the techno music in the background. I thought the video was fake. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's funny. Someone made a fake presentation of Eric Swalwell having a meltdown over a meme. Swalwell posted it. Are the aliens that are eating your ducks in the room with us now, Jim, MAGA, are not serious? First of all, you should have put the little clappy hands there. Since you're going to go full AOC, Swalwell, you should have put the MAGA are not. What an absolute jackass.
The chairman yesterday tweeted, "When President Trump was in office, the border was secure.
Yep, true.
And illegal aliens weren't eating your pets." He also then tweeted, again, knowing that you're going to come here to talk about your loved ones who were lost, you would expect some seriousness, some gravitas, respect for the people who came here. What in the hell is this? The chairman tweets, "Protect our ducks and kittens in Ohio," because he goes
Thanks for putting it on blast.
Goes down some crazy rabbit hole, completely debunked that aliens are eating pets.
Oh my God!
My God!
Oh my God!
Are you okay, Mr. Chairman?
Are you okay?
Last year, for a very long time, you tweeted and promoted Kanye West as he was calling for genocide against the Jews, and you kept it up.
I don't remember Kanye West calling for genocide against the Jews. I say you better come with the receipts if you're saying Kanye West was calling for genocide of the Jews, because I think I would have heard that. I say now.
And now when we have victims coming here, you're tweeting this nonsense.
Oh my God.
I don't know why you would do this. I hope you're okay. I don't know if the aliens who are eating your ducks are in the room with us right now. But, Mr. Chairman, this is a serious issue.
And so it's a serious issue. And so I've decided to desecrate it by spending however many minutes talking about a freaking AI-generated meme.
People have loved ones who have been lost. And you tweeted this. So I am sorry that you came here expecting seriousness.
And
you are serious. They are not. And you deserve a hell of a lot more than what you're getting.
Jackass just did. Eric Swalwell, by the way, I know some people out there are going to say, say there's no evidence that he was banging a Chinese spy. There was no evidence of this. Sexy, bang, bang with the fang. This is the same man who, if recollection serves me correctly, threatened American citizens to the effect that, if we ever get into a war, the government's got the bombs and we'll bomb our citizens who don't want to give up their Second Amendment rights. I think he did that. I also think at one point in time, I'm not sure about this, I was trying to find it, that there were accusations that he falsified a threat that he allegedly got, and you could see like the cursor in the screen grab, which would indicate that he drafted himself. I think I might be wrong on that. What I am not wrong on is that there's seemingly a consensus that whether or not he did bang bang with the Fang Fang, that he had a relationship with a Chinese spy with whom he was quite cozy, according to the photographs. And the internet aggregate knowledge is to the effect that, yes, Swalwell was making bang bang with the Fang Fang Chinese spy. And then people are like, well, what evidence do you have of that? And I was like, I'm sorry, other than smoochy photographs of two people who are too close to each other and the admissions of relationships, I don't have any sex tape with Eric Swalwell. Not that I'd ever want to watch such a disgusting. I can imagine him in his tapes, like, oh my god, oh. Anyhow, so that's all I have to say about that. But no, we're going to say a lot more about this as we get into this show, because it is. First of all, I'm sorry I'm off from the regular schedule, 12:30 daily, Monday through Friday. But this morning I was doing an episode with the Unusual Suspects, which is going to air. They air it live at 6:00 tonight. So it's a phenomenal episode where we talk about the debate and the highlights, the lowlights, and there's some frank discussion as to whether or not Trump outperformed, underperformed, got his clock cleaned, as Gavin Newsom alleges, or whether or not it was just, not going to change anything as far as anyone's minds go. But a very interesting observation before we even get into it, there is a dearth. Well, let me see, with my lisp, you might not be hearing that. A dearth, DEARTH, of video clips of Kamala Harris from the debate last night circulating the interwebs. And it's very curious. I didn't get through all of Bongino's show today, but he has a long-standing theory that, and it's not a theory, it's a pretty well-known tactic of campaigns, is that they are about sound bites and photographs. Whatever. I've heard now he says it more eloquently than I do, but video clips, sound bites, and snapshots. And I am noticing that I'm not seeing very many video clips, of Kamala Harris owning Trump last night. We'll get into what my, initial assessment was. Barnes and I talked about it a bit last night, but my goodness, it went late and it went long. But I'm noticing a dearth of video clips on social media from the usual suspects, the propagandists, who I would expect to be posting the W's, the owns of Kamala Harris over Trump. Even Gavin Newsom. It's my lisp. The commentary, which is also laughably stupid, is devoid of video evidence. Don't trust me. I'll pull it up afterwards. It's devoid of video evidence. And so it's very interesting. Everybody's saying, yeah, she cleaned his clock, she kicked his ass, and yet the only video evidence of it is the analysis and not any video evidence. But I'm bringing up the video evidence during this show, not to talk about how she cleaned his clock, because I don't think she did. I think Trump missed a few lob balls, softball, but he could have freaking smashed, if not out of the park, at least back into her face. And it's very easy to sit here and say, whoa, I could have. It's like when 2 days later, like, damn it, if only I had said that. It's very easy when you're not sitting on the stage back here. It's like, oh my goodness, why didn't you say that? We'll get into it. But the lies. One thing that's amazingly, definitively, demonstrably true: when Kamala Harris opens her mouth, lies and verbal diarrhea spew forward. If it's not verbal diarrhea, it's lies. Now, all right, before we get started, if I may ask everybody, take to the social medias, just tweet the link around or share the link around so we get the notifications that we're live. And before you get into this, as if you're watching it on CommieTube, because they've got a little button that you make sure that you have to push. It says this stream contains a paid promotion, which it does. Our very, very fine sponsors for today's episode, which make all of this possible. And they're easy things. I say they're all easy.
For the unexpected. That could mean
to accept as sponsors. Can you imagine what a privilege and an honor it is to have Chuck Norris sponsor the channel? I mean, it is amazing. And it's something that I consume on a pretty daily basis. But if you didn't know, and you're ever wondering what happened to Chuck Norris, I saw this video, and I won't say I was shocked because I know that he's still kicking ass. He's in his 80s, still kicking ass, still working out, staying active. What's even more shocking, he's stronger, can work out longer, and has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by making one change. He says he feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing it. She feels better than ever. She looks 10 years younger. She's got a lean body. I always feel weird complimenting Chuck Norris's wife's lean body, like I'm going to get roundhouse kicked to the back of the head and not know it. And she has energy all day. Chuck made the video. You're looking at it right now, but I'm not playing it. He explains everything. Go to chuckdefense.com/Viva. Check it out. Watch the video. It'll change the way you think about your health. Once again, chuckdefense.com/Viva. Defense with an S, not a C. Click on the description to watch the video. You won't believe how simple it is. Just a reminder, Chuck is 84 years young. He has more energy than 94% of Americans. He discovered he can create dramatic changes to his health simply by focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. chuckdefense.com. And I actually got the morning kick powder. It's got ashwagandha and a bunch of other great stuff in it. Tastes delicious. And Chuck, thank you. And the other sponsor of today's episode, and then we're going to get right into it, is another one that is easy for me to use because I got 2 dogs who, despite me making jokes about feeding them to alligators, I won't. I love them. I've got a blind West Highland Terrier and a paralyzed Puggle. I got the paralyzed Puggle in 2016. I thought she would walk again, and I would give her back to my sister-in-law. It would be like a fairy tale. She never ended up walking again, and I fell in love with that dog, and she's mine now. And then the West Highland we got from birth, blind from birth, came from a great breeder. Dog was just born with lenticonus, lentiglobus, whatever. And hey, why not? We got a paralyzed dog. Let's take a blind one. Between the two of them, we got a functioning dog. Have you ever had your dog turn into a 1-dog demolition crew? Eating who knows what off the floor, suddenly breaking out into hives like they're in a race against time. And you're there frantically searching for what to do when your dog eats fill in the blank with one hand dialing the vet. We've all been there. I mean, Pudge... oh gosh, she'll eat anything. She'll eat herself to death, actually. That's why Positive Emergency Kit is a must-have, whether it's allergy attacks, mystery cuts, or sudden urge to regurgitate onto the carpet. The kit's got you covered. Positive isn't just some random pet brand. It's backed by Rumble. It's one of these parallel economy products that everybody needs one, and you want to support companies that support free speech, the same free speech warriors who are making sure your pet gets quality care without the corporate BS. Who knew chaos could be so easy to have countered at your house? So head to positive.com, grab a kit, use promo code Viva, 15% off, because let's face it, our dogs might be tiny walking disasters who crap and piss all over the house, but there are disasters and they deserve the best and we love them. The links are in the description, people. Oh, now we get into it. For anybody, by the way, who's new to the show, the way we start this thing, it's daily 12:30, except for the days when I do the unusual suspects. Radioactive Man 1376 says Trump lost. It's an interesting question. You always just have to ask, what's the metric of loss? Could he have done better? Yeah, absolutely. Did Kamala exceed expectations? Yeah, because the expectations were, don't pull a Biden. She looks nice in the sense that she's well kept, and apparently she's wearing multi-$1,000 earrings. Not an earbud, but we'll get into that. So yeah, Trump could have done better in terms of just everybody could have come up with better zingers. And Kamala didn't crash and burn. Although I think she came off in an amazingly patronizing, amazingly annoying, visually unpleasant. She's well made up and everything, but her looking there and making those facial expressions, that's not going to age well. But the bottom line, I don't know if Trump lost. He certainly could have done better in my view. But based on the dearth of Kamala owns video clips, and every video clip that I see of Trump are sound bites that are going to resonate, I'm inclined to say it's going to change jack diddly squat. What is going to change something, and it's what I like seeing and what we're seeing right now, not the debate itself, but the fallout, the conservative, or I will just dare say the right commentary on the right that happens to be right, eviscerating those hack journalist moderators, calling out the lies that they didn't call out, because now we're having the discussion. These bullshit debates where you have 2 minutes to talk. 2 minutes goes by very fast. We've been live 15 minutes, and I've said more than they said in the entire 90 minutes. 2 minutes goes by fast. So you got 2 minutes to talk. They get 2 minutes, then a 1 minute rebuttal. That is nothing. So you don't get much by way of substance. What you get are talking points, sound bites, and platitudes for smooth brain, low information voters that seem to be the bulk of Kamala Harris's base. Honor234, whom I know from our community, says the debate did not matter at all. If it's coming up right here, it is. I agree. I think it's going to be net positive in the long run, because I think there will be some sound bites in there that are going to age like fine wine and not like rotten milk. Or I guess it's milk until it gets rotten. Because I think some of the things that they're fact-checking Trump on, well, A, they're lies, and B, to the extent that they're at least unconfirmed rumors at this point, and we'll talk about it with Haiti, they're going to age very well, because I'll say this. If anybody thinks J.D. Vance would retweet something about Haitian aliens consuming, I don't know, house pets or ducks in the park, if anybody thinks that Trump would get up on that stage knowing that the media is there waiting to eviscerate him for any mistake that he makes, fact check him for any claim that he makes, and he would get up on stage and without better evidence than, say, the lowly hoi polloi like myself, although I am in discussion with people on the street in Springfield, if anybody thinks he would get up and say they're eating ducks and birds, geese in the ponds, and there's been stories of cats, being kidnapped, if anybody thinks he would say that and not know that it's true, you're idiots. Period. And so what he claimed yesterday, that some people are fact-checking as false, and the moderators have to intervene and say, no, this isn't true. Well, I think in a month or so, we're going to start hearing some much more definitive evidence, as if what we have heard is not already definitive enough. Now, I got a ton of crap on the backdrop, and the question is going to be how to bring it all up in a manner that is logical. And we might not get to that today. So I might just pull it up in a willy-nilly manner. Hold on one second. All right. So there were a number of things that irritated me. Let's start with the one. It's always very easy to say in retrospect what you should have said, but when Kamala Harris was talking about the border bill, the bipartisan border bill that Trump killed and that they presented, and Trump made the call and said, I want to play politics with the border. Trump got to the essential points, that it's been an open border and she failed as border czar. Whenever I hear anybody talk about that godforsaken bipartisan border bill, I would have unleashed on Kamala and said, oh, the bipartisan border bill, that was nothing but a Ukrainian aid bill in disguise that would have shipped $60 billion of American taxpayer dollars to Ukraine, $15 billion to Israel, and however many billion to Gaza to pay for the damage being caused by the Israeli incursion that is being financed with your taxpayer dollars. Oh, you mean that bipartisan border bill, which is nothing but a disguised aid bill? Oh, the bipartisan border bill that would have ratified up to 5,000 less one illegal immigrants crossing the border daily before a certain emergency threshold gets met. So you've effectively legalized and ratified 4,000 up to and including 4,999 illegal aliens crossing the border every day. Oh, that bipartisan border bill? Oh, the one that would have given exclusive jurisdiction to the courts of D.C. to adjudicate on state issues as relates to that border bill and border issues. Oh, that bipartisan border bill? It was a trap. It was a Trojan horse, and you knew it. And that's why you drafted it that way, so that when it got rejected, and rightly so, you confession through projection scoundrels could weaponize the border policy. Oh, and that bipartisan border bill that you put into effect, that you drafted 3.5 years after leaving that border porous, to put it mildly. Oh, I would have. Is 2 minutes enough to do that? How long did I do that? About 2 minutes. She's a liar. All that comes out of her mouth is a liar. Here, listen to this. M. Lee Long G. Let me see this. You do 4,900. It's 1.8 million. That's potentially almost 2 million people to freely enter the nation in a year. And by the way, ratified. So you can't, once that bill passes, good luck trying to bring it down. I can't even pretend to do the math in real time. I know that I did the math already. So that's why I know it's about 1.8 million. But let's just go like this. We're going to do 4,999 times 365 is 1.824635 million. That bipartisan border bill was a game of politics that the Democrats play so that they can then accuse the Republicans of playing politics with the border. How ironic. So that's one. Yes, thank you. I do look, flattery will get you everywhere. It'll get you nowhere, but I do like reading it. Viva, that depiction of the bipartisan border bill was perfection. Oh, and then they go ahead and just cut out the foreign aid. Anyhow, that's sorry, Trump. Like that was a softball that you could have smashed, and because you're playing baseball, you could have smashed that ball right into her face, like the pitcher who gets nailed by their own incoming fastball. Or you could have just nailed it out of the park, and you didn't, and that's fine. It's the way it goes. And maybe it's too complicated to operate as a soundbite, but my goodness, it would have been nice to see that. No, the other one. So, by the way, okay, the one where the moderators came in. I don't have the clip of the moderator saying, well, actually, no state allows killing a born child. Holy hell. So one of the other, we're going to get into these clips now. There's so many, like once you start just scratching the surface, there's too many to keep up with. Trump made the claim of effective infanticide, killing of a baby in the name of reproductive rights. Abortion after the baby is born, viable or not, we're not sure. I mean, it sounds it's not just born viable, it's born alive and then killed afterwards. And, the moderators, two of them, who fact-checked Trump 4 times and never fact-checked Kamala, and according to some, Kamala lied 16 times and Trump lied 14 times. I don't like calling something that they got wrong a lie. I would only call a lie what they deliberately or could not have known was not true, like when Kamala Harris says the bloodbath lie. When Kamala Harris says the very fine people hoax lie that even Snopes had to confirm is a lie. Those I would qualify as lies. When Trump said upwards of 100 million people died during the Spanish flu, I was surprised they didn't fact check him on that. Because 100 million is only on the upward estimate that some have said. Most people say 35 to 50 million. I'm surprised they didn't say, oh, he got it wrong. I thought he got it wrong because I thought that number was too high. But it was pretty damn close. So that was my dog, by the way. Oh, he's right there. So if anybody gets something wrong, I wouldn't reflexively or instinctively jump to calling them a liar. But when Kamala Harris repeats the bloodbath, very fine people, suckers and losers, hoaxes, she's a godforsaken liar. So Trump says, they're killing babies after they're born, and everyone's like, no, that's not true. It's not happening. It's not happening. Except it's happening. So let's take this one. You've seen the video. I won't play the whole thing. Brianna Wu is one of the people who's saying it was fact. No state allows killing of a baby after it's born. I got to actually bring up that the original tweet so you can see how the liars gaslight in real time. Oh gosh, now I'm seeing someone sharing a video of what it actually looks like, which I'm not going to share. But let me get the Brianna Wu. Okay, so Brianna Wu is right here. Here we go. Fact checking is not bias, she says. Let me bring this up. These are the fact checkers, people. Fact checking is not bias. Claiming babies get aborted after they are born is insane and false. It is absolutely correct for Trump to get this lie pointed out. He can just lie less, says Brianna Wu, MSNBC, executive director at Rebellion PAC, former candidate for U.S. House in Maryland, software engineer, liked to go fast, and she likes Porsches. Okay, good for her. So here, this is where words matter. Claiming babies get aborted after they are born is insane and false. Oh, okay. What they're going to say is, if it's, I actually have difficulty steel manning that, because I have difficulty steel manning it given the evidence. This is Norfolk talking about a bill that was being proposed in Virginia in 2019.
There was a very contentious committee hearing yesterday when Fairfax County Delegate Kathy Tran made her case for lifting restrictions on third trimester abortions, as well as other restrictions now in place. And she was pressed by a Republican delegate about whether her bill would permit an abortion, even as a woman is essentially dilating, ready to give birth.
Mm-hmm.
And she answered that it would permit an abortion at that stage of labor. Do you support her measure, and explain her answer?
Yeah, and I wasn't there.
I wasn't there,
Julie, and I certainly can't.
I'll put you there, no.
Delegate Tran, but I will tell you first thing I would say, this is why decisions such as this should be made by providers, physicians, and the mothers and fathers that are involved.
I do. And I want to pause it there. This is why decisions such as this should be left to fill in the blank. If the decision is murder, and I'm not saying this about abortion as a whole, and I have a position that will probably piss some people off on my end of the spectrum and would certainly piss off the people who think that this is okay. If what we're talking about is murder, well, there's no circumstance on earth where a mother and a doctor can talk about murdering a child. There's none. And so if that's the defense, well, this is where, this is between a mother and a doctor. Not if what we're talking about is murder or infanticide. But listen to this.
There are, when we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with.
By the way, when we talk about them, not they don't happen. When we're talking about third trimester abortions, the next sentence out of your mouth, Norfolk, should have been, they don't happen because I'm told it's a lie that it happens. Because pretty much, by definition, third trimester is viability, well into viability. And if you abort anything that's viable, what you are doing is effectively either killing something before it's delivered or delivering something and then killing it, and delivering something being a viable fetus, a viable baby. So the next sentence should be, it's not happening and you're crazy for even suggesting it, but that's not the next sentence.
The consent of obviously the mother, obviously, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities. There may be a fetus that's non-viable.
So stop right there. How do you get, a fetus that's not viable, how you get to a third trimester with severe deformities or a fetus that's not, we're not talking about stillbirths here. And a stillbirth, it's not viable. So if the discussion is removing a stillbirth and that's obviously not the issue. How does one get to a third trimester and have severe deformities? I'm trying to think of ways that could happen without those severe deformities being noticed or detected within the first or second and maybe, I don't know how late sometimes it can happen. So how does this hypothetical even occur? Is it someone who's been pregnant for 7 months, has never seen a doctor, and now has gone to a doctor and discovered that there's a severe deformity? Okay.
So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen.
I can tell you exactly what would happen. This is the former governor of Virginia, who's also a doctor, by the way. I can tell you exactly, not maybe, not probably, exactly what, do tell us what exactly would happen.
The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So,
do we all, look, I know all of you have probably seen this video already. And to some extent, I hope I'm reaching new people with this. I can tell you exactly what would happen. The baby would be delivered, resuscitated if necessary, kept comfortable, and then a discussion would happen with the mother and the doctor. Okay, we've delivered this baby. It's either alive or was resuscitated. It's being kept comfortable. I always have great difficulty understanding why that would need to be said. What would be the alternative? Like, you're going to deliberately torment a premature born fetus, baby? It's going to be kept comfortable. Okay, now, I thought you were going to torture it just for fun, but thanks for clarifying that you won't. Then we're going to discuss what happens with it. Unless there is no discussion, if the fait accompli is you let it live. The only discussion you have is, do you kill a baby that has just been delivered, resuscitated if necessary, and kept comfortable? And they have the balls to say Trump lied. Now, I'll steelman it. Maybe that, I don't know that bill proposal by Ms. Tran, we're going to see that in a second, ever passed. So maybe they're going to say, well, that never became law. So therefore, it's a lie to say that it happens. Bullshit. You want to know how many states? I didn't know this. How many states have zero restrictions on late-term abortions? How late into pregnancy abortion is legal? 6 weeks or earlier is in the dark, and then no defined limit is in the pale. No defined limit. Let me see if I can get these states. We got definitely Oregon right here. That's Oregon. Let me make sure that I'm right about this. Okay. Well, let me do it. Let me guess as best I can, and then the chat can make fun of me for being a stupid Canuck with no idea of geography. Oregon. This right here is Texas. You go next to Texas, it's New Mexico. So that's New Mexico. Then you go north of New Mexico. Idaho? I have no idea what this state is offhand. Then you're up here. Oh, this is going to be embarrassing. This one right here, the one that looks like the face. No, the one that looks like the face is Montana. I don't know. Damn it. And then these I'm just going to get confused because you got DC, I guess. And then you got, I don't know if that's Vermont or whatever. I actually have to, America map. Okay, hold on. Let's just see this here. So the one that I couldn't get was Minnesota. Oh, what's his face's state? Tim Walz. Of course, I should know that. Then you got Vermont. I was right about that. And then the other one was Kansas. Yeah, I would have never gotten Kansas. Let me see here. No, north of New Mexico is Colorado. I'm sorry. Oh, so I'm noticing a trend of those states where there are no defined limits. So don't tell me that it's not happening. What Norfolk described most certainly is happening. Now, I have some other jackasses, and I'll steel man the jackassery, who email me, who DM me and say, everybody knows 99% of the abortions are done in the first trimester, and then maybe the second if there's extenuating circumstances. Okay, so only 1% of abortions are murder then? You're not proving the point that you think you're making. I had the same argument with people who say, Viva, you're a heartless bastard if you criticize euthanasia. 99% of the euthanasia carried out in Canada are lawful and done properly. Okay, so 1 out of 100 people in Canada under the euthanasia system in Canada are murdered by the state. I'm sorry. This is one of those things, kind of like protecting a president, where you don't have room for error. You don't get to accidentally kill somebody under the pretext of euthanasia and whoopsie doodle, but the vast majority of them are legit humane medical assistance in dying. It's not a lie. It's actually the truth, and it's so revolting, even to people who believe that there should be a window, there should be exceptions. At a given point in time, no more window and no more exceptions, and then you can just haggle, quibble over what that window should be. This is so grotesque and so vile, so inhumane, so evil, that Norfolk could sit there and talk about executing a delivered baby that they have resuscitated for the purposes of execution. It's freaking wild. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Oh, just because I saw it, because I thought it had to do, hold on. I thought it had to do with the statistics that we were talking about, but I'll bring it up. 98% of America are not Jews. Why do 2% hold all seats of power in America? All? You see, gaming too long. If you want to make a statement that is not easily refuted, don't make it a categorical all, never, always type thing. The real way of phrasing this, if you don't want people to write you off as an anti-Semite or just someone who's unhinged, to say 98% of America are not Jews. Why do 2% hold statistically overrepresented positions of power? That would be the way to state it as a matter of fact that would actually lead to discussion, and not as a categoric all that is easy to write off and now no one has to address your thought anymore. And that's a legitimate question. There is statistical overrepresentation, and what can people draw from that, and what criticism can people draw from that? Anyway, sidetracked a little bit, coming back to Donald Trump. If anybody thinks that Norfolk misspoke, because you remember in the beginning he said Ms. Tran had a bit of a tough, she had a tough day there. Hold on one second. I like this one too. I like it. This is what happens, unfortunately, when you feed the trolls for 1 second. How's the grift going, Viva? Getting that leash. Getting that loosh for your masters from imaginary person. The grift is going so well. I work all day, every day to make sure that I know what's going on, surveilling the internet, providing accurate information, and correcting myself when I'm wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's actually what you're describing is a graft. Dumb bum. So now you got your 30 seconds of attention, and now we're done. You might think that Norfolk misspoke, but you heard him talk about Ms. Tran. Who's Ms. Tran? Oh, who is Ms. Tran? She was a member. Well, she was pushing a bill back in the day, and so it's a long video. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I think we might have to play just a substantial amount of it. Ms. Tran. If I can stop getting emails while I'm doing this, I can check up who she is. Let me just confirm this before we go. Tran, Virginia. Oh, I got an article on her that we're going to bring up afterwards. Let me bring up the article first, and then we'll bring it up. Because there was an article that appeared about Ms. Tran and how she became the victim of threats online. Let me bring this up first. It's an amazing thing. By the way, just to go back to not threatening people and don't do stupid things, because when you threaten the people who are being terrible in the world, and you allow the people who are being terrible in this world to purport to be the victims, you facilitate the victimizers turning themselves into the victims. And so you actually are empowering the victimizers to claim that they are the victims. Okay, for goodness sake, I archived the link. Tran, Virginia abortion bill. Here we go. Let's just bring this up. This wasn't the right one, but I can't seem to find the archive here. Going back, fact check. What year is this from? This is from 2020. Fact check. Virginia governor's 2019 comments about abortion bill are missing context. That doesn't answer who Tran is. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, forget that. Let's go play the video. And someone in the chat can... Well, now my computer seems to have frozen. Here we go. Let's play a little bit of this and I'll fish it up while
This bill would remove the following statutes: trap or targeted regulations of abortion providers, removing language classifying facilities that perform 5 or more first trimester abortions per month as hospitals. It would repeal Virginia's informed consent mandatory ultrasound and 24-hour delay.
This was the proposed
Repeal
bill.
the requirement that second trimester abortions be performed in a hospital licensed by the State Department of Health. It would repeal the requirement for 2 additional physicians in cases of third trimester abortions.
Delegate Tran,
Yes, sir.
how late in a pregnancy would your bill
Listen to
apply
this. In case there was
if
ambiguity.
a physician was simply willing to certify that the continuation of the pregnancy would impair the mental health of the woman?
Mental
How
health, by the
late are we talking about?
Oh,
Well, so the way the suggestion that we've made in the bill is to say it's in the third trimester and at the, with the certification of the physician. So
how late in the third trimester?
By the way, with the certification of we got the white lab coat to ratify our inhumanity. Sound familiar? This was 2019. It only took them 2 more years to get the dude in the white lab coat to ratify their inhumanity by compelling a very unsuccessful product, a jibby jabby, on effectively clinically tested on billions of people, to quote Obama. Sound familiar? It's amazing.
Or would you be able to do that?
It's very unfortunate that our physicians, witnesses, were not able to attend today to speak specifically.
No, I'm talking about your bill. How late in the third trimester could a physician
by the way,
perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman?
Oh God, I don't want to answer this question.
Or physical health.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about the mental health if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman.
Or physical health.
Why don't you just answer the bloody question? Our physical health, with that little vocal fry nasal. Our physical health, sir. You misrepresent. Oh, no, I didn't misrepresent it. I'm only talking about mental health right now. Mental health. But a doctor said she could do it in the third trimester.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about the mental health.
So, through the third trimester. The third trimester goes all the way up to 40 weeks.
Okay. But to the end of the third trimester.
Delivery.
Yep. I don't think we have a limit in the bill.
I don't think we have a limit. I don't think we have a limit in the bill. Look at her face. She knows she's in it. She stepped in it. What is she tapping her fingers?
Where it's obvious that...
What the hell are you doing with your hands, madam? I'm sorry, do you not know what's going on here?
Where it's obvious that a woman is about to give birth. She has physical signs of that she is about to give a birth. Would that still be a point at which she could request an abortion if she was so certified?
So certified by a doctor.
She's dilating.
I know what you mean.
Mr. Chairman, that would be a decision that the doctor, the physician, and the woman would
I understand
make
that. I'm asking if your bill allows that.
My bill would allow that, yes.
Oh. This was the Tran interview that Norfolk was commentating on. He didn't see it, so he doesn't know what the context. By the it goes on. I published the entire thing on Twitter, or the entire clip here that I there was summoned from the interwebs. It's impossible to find the original stuff of all of this. But archive is important, and these types of streams, which unless someone takes it down, will be up there forever. So that even if they take these original videos down, you can find it. Thank you, sir. I don't know why my child has come in and just handed me a knife, but I'll take it. Thank you. Put that in my pants. Okay, this lady at the end who's a lawyer, she'll tell you she's a lawyer. Oh, don't do that. Is it my internet or something? No, we need to hear this woman talk. This is I'm going to refresh this. Hold on. Oh, is this okay? This is annoying. Go down here.
You're talking about the child.
Here we
Let me
go.
Some anomaly. It's okay.
Listen to this.
I don't have a lot of specific examples because I'm not a physician. I'm an attorney. So, and we unfortunately do not have the physicians could not be here today because they are seeing patients at the moment. I know that there are certain central nervous system anomalies that cannot be determined until later stages in the pregnancy. I also know that certain anomalies like the absence of certain organs.
Okay, so you're talking about the child. Let me just leave that out of the equation then.
Sure.
In terms of the health or life of the mother, what conditions are there that can't be resolved by delivering the child rather than undergoing an abortion?
Again, I'm not a physician.
I'm not a physician. I'm just going to defer to one who says you can murder the child. This portion of the of that hearing does not get enough airtime. Listen to this.
What I can point to a case that happened in Ireland. That's the first one that comes to my mind. That I'm happy to find for you and send you the article about.
I'm happy to find for you and send you. Lady, this is not a congressional hearing among your friends where you cannot provide anything and say, I'll answer it later. You're not a doctor, you're a lawyer, and you don't have the case law that you're relying on in order to justify what you're proposing here. You're fired, to quote Donald Trump.
I can definitely send you that article, and if you'll give me some time, I can ask our physicians to provide you with a list of maladies that can lead to a woman having to have an abortion at the late stage of pregnancy. I do know that those cases exist.
I do know that those cases exist. I don't know what they are offhand. There was one case in Ireland. Now let's pass this bill and then claim that anybody who says that they're effectively delivering babies to then kill them afterwards are liars, like they did with Donald Trump yesterday. Hey, I don't know the name of the two jackasses, David Muir and the other one there. You guys are wrong. You broke the ABC rules by fact-checking Trump and not Kamala Harris, and you're wrong. And not just wrong. I would dare say that you are godforsaken gaslighting liars.
But you don't know what they are.
No.
Like I said, not a physician. I do not have those specifics about
fired. You should never be allowed to practice law ever again.
The woman. I have some specifics about the fetus. I do not have the specifics about the woman.
All right. And again, since you yielded, you don't have any. I'm talking to you now, yes. Delegate. You don't have any specifics on that, obviously.
No, I don't. I'm not a physician.
I'm not a physician. I just want to pass laws, but I'm not a physician, and I don't have my physicians here to pass the law to justify it. Holy hell! Let me give that link to everybody so that you understand, just so you can get the tweet. Link. That's ink, not link. Here's a link. 1, share it in our locals community. Link. I'm going to put the video up there afterwards, and on the commie tubes. It's unbelievable. But you believe that these lying SOBs had the audacity to argue that Trump was wrong. Fact check. Oh no, it's literally not allowed anywhere except maybe the 6 states that have no defined limits on abortion. When we've had people explain in the past exactly how they have gone about doing it. It's great. And the media has the audacity of calling me the weirdo. Oh, they've called me names, but not all that often. All right, now hold on. We're going to move on to the second item. There was more. Oh, what do we move? Well, first, let me see what's going on in the chat. We'll take a little break before I keep going here. We got some. What are these things? Rumble rants here. Good afternoon, Viva Rumble chat and all inferior chats. Haven't caught a live in a bit. Did you see the video of the sad saying he wished his son was killed by a 60-year-old white man because of racism. A video of the SAD. Is that Gad Sad doing a parody? Or is that a real video? Lord of the Re. Oh, hold on one second. You know, is that okay? Let me see if we can get that afterwards. We got Northam afterwards who says, okay, well, I just missed this here. Okay, here, Northam, right here. Bring this up. Northam, Norfolk is the capital of Virginia, the state which he grabbed. Oh, his name is Northam. Okay, Miss Scusi. So we got, that's from Real Drew Morgan. And then we got, in our locals community, Viva. I'll try to steelman this. I would suggest that the ex-governor is talking about the DNR, or refusal of care, as a parent or medical proxy. I believe the original laws were that the doctor had to try to save the babies, like in a failed abortion. I am aware of instances like fetal strokes or acute pathologies detected in utero during the third trimester. It's unfortunate we can't have the benefit of the doubt here, since the goal post has moved miles past safe and rare. Yeah, but I think, I mean, I can steelman that, but we've heard Tran now discuss it, so I'm not sure that steelman could even be reconciled with what we've heard. And then we got at imaginary person, and that is a $1 super chat. Rumble rant, thank you. And now let me see if in CommuTube I haven't missed any, because they don't always pop up here. Let's see here, scrolling through the chat, and good. All right, what did I have next in terms of what was really, really driving me crazy last night? Oh, the guns. I've been politically conscious for long enough now that if I had ever heard that Kamala Harris was a proud Second Amendment loving gun owner of America, I would have remembered having heard it. So when Kamala Harris is accused of wanting to confiscate guns, A, she gets a pass with the fact checkers, and B, she is allowed to come out and say, I own a gun. Tim Walz and I own guns. Well, we know Tim Walz owns guns. At least, you know, we've seen some pictures of him, and it's either his dog or someone else's dog. Bada bing, bada boom. There was a joke on the internet about Tim Walz seemingly identifying his dog differently in different photos. But we know Tim Walz owns shotguns for hunting. He's a hunter. He's a true American, true commie American who sets up snitch lines on your neighbors during weaponized pandemics and thinks that government knows best. I have never in my life heard that Kamala Harris owns a gun. Never heard her say it until now. And when you're dealing with a flip-flopping, two-faced scoundrel of a liar who says, I am going to ban fracking in 2019, and then says, I'm not going to ban fracking in 2024, and I've always been consistent on my position on fracking, I do question whether or not she actually owns a gun. I would be curious to see the receipts. I don't want to see her gun. I could take a picture of her gun. I would like to see a date of purchase, a receipt for purchase, and the type of gun. Something tells me if she does own a gun, it's a recent purchase, only so that statement is not a lie, technically speaking. Part of me thinks it might just be a bald-faced lie, regardless, that her ownership of a gun is indirect through her Secret Service that seems to do a better job protecting her than the Butler, not Butler, I shouldn't say that, but then the Secret Service did to Trump and Butler. She comes out and says that she owns a gun, and it's amazing. And then she comes out and says, but I'm not confiscating guns. To which I have to say, liar. Like I'll pull that meme out of Princess Bride. Liar, 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 liar. It's Billy Crystal and his wife. Liar. Let's see something here. Is this the video? This is not the video. This is an old tweet that I don't really care to look at in this today's stream. Where was the one of the undercover video of her? Not undercover, but it was 2019, give or take, because I think it was when she was running, when the last time she ran and failed, because she's the most unpopular presidential candidate and vice president ever in the history of America's. When she ran the last time, and she was asked about gun confiscation and whether or not she would take action via executive order. And to that, she answered the following. From Spitfire, over on Twitter. From RNC Richards, this had to do with a mandatory buyback policy, I'm fairly certain. And 2019, you can tell, yeah, it's 2019. It's not.
Adding to your gun control agenda? Yeah, I think.
Was this about your gun control agenda?
Adding to your gun control agenda? Yeah, I think it's a great idea. But I mean, listen, I don't think we lack for great ideas. As I've said many times, we've been having great ideas for decades. The problem is that Congress has not had the courage to act.
Congress has not had the courage to act, if anybody has difficulty hearing this.
And that is why, from the beginning, I have said my agenda includes attempting to get Congress to act, but if they don't within the first 100 days of my administration, I'm going to take executive action. Because what we need is action.
Executive action, as far as I understand it, if I'm wrong on the context, someone please correct me, executive action on mandatory buybacks, aka gun confiscation. Nah, but in case the context was a little bit, she wasn't really talking about gun buyback. She was talking about, I don't know, stronger laws for background checks. No, it wasn't. She wasn't talking about gun confiscation. Sorry, not gun confiscation. Mandatory buybacks. If you had any doubt, and the defense here, the steel man here better not be that Governor Warnock doesn't get to speak for Kamala. I shared this the other day, but it's worth showing now. Where she said, I'm going to be a Second Amendment defender. I own a gun after all.
Should she also be, in your opinion, supporting a mandatory gun buyback program?
Listen, we're not going to be able to get where we need to go without action in Congress.
You know where they need to go? They want to go? Communism. Full Marxism. Well, Marxism is a tactic. Full statism. We take your guns and then we use them against you, or at least we use ours against you like they did at Wounded Knee, which we'll get to in a second.
We've got to pass some laws to deal with this. Now, I was heartened by the fact that 2 years ago, we finally did a gun safety law, the Safer Communities Act. And it was the first gun safety law we passed in 30 years. 30 years. And it was modest, but it did save lives. But clearly, in the wake of what happened just the other day in Winder, Georgia, it's not enough. And the least we can do is move forward on the bipartisan spaces where ordinary people agree.
By the way, the least we could do. Well, unfortunately, unfortunately, Senator Warnock, nobody asked the least you could do or would do. She's actually asking the most that you would do. Now, do you understand? Like, ordinarily, if the journalist, she followed it up with a little bit more of a pressing question, but still didn't get a definitive answer. This is his signaling. Move on. The least we could do is background. Okay, good. We ain't talking about the least right now. We're talking about what you want to do at most. Let me ask the question again, Senator, because you seem to be a little hard of hearing.
Clearly, there's a disconnect between what the people, the American people want, and what they're able to get out of their government. Again, 87% of Americans believe in background checks. And yet I hear politicians say that it's not guns who kill people, it's people who kill people. And yet we don't even want to know who those people are. We won't even support.
Senator, just yes or no, though. Should she support the mandatory buyback program? Just a yes or no.
Listen, look, as a pastor, I've done buyback programs. You can pick this issue or that issue. But I think that, again, there's not one single thing that will make all of this go away.
All right. Thank you for, again, confirming what we already knew. Oh, the ability. Listen, whenever somebody starts off an answer to a question with listen, so, I mean, you're getting the evasive answer, if any answer at all. But that's it. That's all. I would have called her out on that. No fact checking on Kamala Harris's position on gun. I want to see receipts that Kamala Harris owns a gun, when she bought it, because I guarantee you, I would bet money, and I would give like 5-to-1 odds. I'll bet someone $50, and how does this work? I would bet $50. Let's just do 10. It'll make it easier. I would bet $10 that she is not a firearm owner directly. And that if she is, it's a very, very new thing. And if I'm wrong, I'd pay $50. Show us the receipt of the firearm that you purchased and explain how you got it, Kamala. Because, like, I admit, as far as I understand and as far as I've ever known, there are background checks on anybody wanting to purchase a firearm anywhere in America. I think, unless I'm mistaken about that, but I don't think I am. It's not about background checks, because I'm fairly certain that already exists. It's about mandatory buybacks, which is confiscation. And in case anybody doesn't know, you guys know what the biggest firearm massacre in American history is? Oh, you probably know. Do we want to go with this? Let me see if this is going to be the good one. Wounded Knee, people. Look it up. Lakota. Let me see here. Confiscated. There we go. Yeah. I mean, I was going to go to Wikipedia, but then everyone's going to say, but you know what? Let's go to Wikipedia. Because if it's going to be in Wikipedia and it's going to be counter-narrative, you know that it's got to be something that is much more true than they're alluding to. The Wounded Knee Massacre, also known as the Battle of Wounded Knee, was a massacre of nearly 300 Lakota people by soldiers of the United States Army. The massacre, part of what the U.S. military called the Pine Ridge Campaign, occurred in 1890. Yada, 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 yada. What are we interested in here? Confiscation. On December 29, 1890, just get rid of that. At daybreak on December 29, 1890, Forsyth ordered the surrender of weapons and the immediate removal of the Lakota from the zone of military operations to awaiting trains. A search of the camp confiscated 38 rifles, and more rifles were taken as the soldiers searched the Lakota. None of the old men were found to be armed. A medicine man named Yellowbird allegedly harangued the young men who were becoming agitated by the search, and the tensions spread. Is this in here where they say it was done for their own protection? The bottom line, if we can go to another history, they confiscated the firearms of the Lakota men for their own safety and protection, and then proceeded to execute nearly 300 of them 2 days later. More relevant question, was she black or Indian in the background check? Finboy Slick, always with the good humor. Now we got Sakov 54 in our locals community. Viva! How come no one is talking about the fact that, sorry, I thought that said Canada. Kamala, I'm turning into an old man. Kamala can only perform as an attorney, not a leader. That's why there was no audience, and that's why she always took pot shots at her opponent. No substance. It's like she was just doing a closing argument, not debating. This should be our talking point, since she is a terrible in front of an audience because she has nothing to say. Well, she was also, I don't want to judge other people as attorneys, because someone can look at me and say, Viva was a failed attorney. That's why he stopped practicing. I think me stopping practicing after a 13-year career where I was thrice nominated as the leaders of tomorrow for young lawyers under 10 years of practice. I didn't win any of the times because it's all politics. You got one solo practitioner. I wasn't eccentric back then, but you get one solo practitioner and the other candidates all are at big firms. You know they're not giving it to the solo practitioner who shows that you can leave the big firm, have your family, start up your own boutique law firm, and do it on your own. That's not a lesson. They want to reward some success, but not too much of it that deters people from joining the big firm golden handcuff lifestyle. But I would say she was at least a failed district attorney in San Francisco. I don't know what more evidence you need than the state of San Francisco. I don't know what more evidence you need that she was a corrupt attorney, withholding exculpatory evidence from people on death row or incarcerated, jailing low-level pot. But that's what the law said, so I was just enforcing the law. Then laughing about how I smoked the marijuana later on. Kimmy Hunt. So yeah, I would. She's a bad attorney at that, and a corrupt, power-hungry, awful, very bad man, Jerry. Labor and delivery nurse are in registered nurse right here. You never have to perform an abortion for, quote, the life of the mother, end quote, never. After the baby is viable, you do stat C-section. They can be performed as fast as 25 to 30 minutes. Woman lives, baby lives, period. Time to stop, quote, the life of the mother, end quote, talk for a viable infant. I know what you mean, and I know that that's the technical term, but some people will say, umbilical cord wrapped around the neck. And I guess the argument is going to be, if the baby dies, then it's not viable, and so there's no abortion because it's no longer viable. Does an abortion necessarily has to mean a viable or an alive fetus? It's not an abortion if it's a stillbirth. And then some people say, well, if the umbilical cord gets wrapped around and then there's permanent damage, although the fetus is still alive, then what's that for the life of the mother? Maybe there's a risk of infection or whatever. Anyways, Kimmy Hunt, point well taken. And I'm just having the debate with myself here. Sorry. And Lord of the Rings says, dad, not sad, got killed by a Haitian when they drove. Oh, this is in Springfield when there was whatever the accident was. I'm not going to jump on any car accident if the person happens to be a foreigner, although people are going to say ask questions. But it was a Haitian alien, or a Haitian, who crashed a car into a school and I believe killed one student or two students. Maybe it was one student and hit two. They drove into a bus. My voice to text must be Haitian because okay, and the average IQ is so low they'd be okay. Get out of here with that. But yeah, understand what you're saying. Lord of the Ree, thank you. Well, we're taking just a bit of a breather here. Let me go back to the chat over on CommieTube and see what's going on. Somebody said $50. Damn, you're a high roller. I bet more. Let me see how my market predictions are doing now. Oh, here we go. Oh, before we forget, who is Virginia Kathy Tran? Virginia delegate Kathy Tran. Listen to this. By the way, don't threaten people. I don't care if you think they deserve to die and burn in hell. Tell them to burn in hell. Don't threaten people, because then what you end up doing is you get Kathy Tran gets up there and says what we just saw that she said in thorough detail. Go check out my video on Twitter. And then she gets, even assume she gets bona fide death threats because people are enraged with her. And now she could say, I'm the victim in all of this. Delegate Kathy Tran was known for nursing her baby on the House floor. Now she's getting death threats over abortion. Oh, she's the victim. She said she misspoke during a legislative hearing. This is an old article, by the way. This is from January 2019. She misspoke. How the hell do you misspeak for 6 minutes while you explain what your bill allows? That's not misspoke. That's telling the truth. Sorry, I'm doing the AOC thing. That's not misspeaking. That's telling the truth. During the legislative that it would have loosened restrictions on late-term abortion. Her comments sparked death threats and intense backlash from GOP television, including President Trump. I wish that I was quicker on my feet and was trying to figure out a way to lie about what my proposed bill would actually do. No, I'm paraphrasing. Quote, I wish that I was quicker on my feet and I wish that I was able to be more agile in that moment. Tran, 41, a first-term Democrat from Fairfax County, said in an interview. Quote, and I misspoke. I really regret that. Hold on, this dog's driving me crazy. Get out. Get out. Don't come back in. Go. I misspoke. In my thoroughly thoughtful several-minute discourse, I misspoke. When the Republican lawmaker asked whether the bill would allow for abortion to occur when a woman is in labor, Tran said yes. But on Thursday, Tran, a mother of four, corrected herself. I should have said clearly no, because infanticide is not allowed in Virginia, and what would have happened in that moment would be a live birth. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing how, now that you've had time to rephrase your answer. Oh, wow. An edited video of Tran's testimony. It was edited. Oh, yeah. Well, because unless you show the video in its entirety, however, 20 some odd minutes, it's edited. And you throw in the word edited so that you can cast doubt on its legitimacy or accuracy. The edited video was circulated, went viral on social media, leading to Twitter to call her a baby killer, a demonic creature. Yeah, I would agree with that. Those aren't death threats. I think even calling her a creature, just call her demonic. There's some beautiful creatures out there. About the incidents by the Daily Caller, Trump said he had seen the video. Terrible. Do you remember when I said Hillary Clinton was willing to rip the baby out of the womb? Trump said, that's what it is. That's what they're doing. Then it got Norfolk came. We got the rest of the article. I don't think we need to read this whole thing. Tran's bill would have removed the phrase substantially or irremediably when it comes to defining the risk a mother would face by continuing the pregnancy. It would also have required just one physician to certify the need for the procedure instead of three. Oh, sounds like exactly what Trump is talking about. And it would have allowed a second trimester abortion to be performed in a clinic instead of a hospital. Holy hell. I've had women in my family, women in my district, and women across Virginia who've been told they really need to grapple with the very personal, private decision. And that's the article. Here, everyone, take it. Take this for an eternity. Oh, and then she brings her baby to bring your baby to work day so that she can claim to be the victim when she using a baby as a shield. I mean, that's basically what we just saw there. Here's the archive link. Share it far and wide, people. Locals. Et voilà, tabarnouche. Pasha Moyer in our, let me see here. Let's see this here. I'm going to bring this one up. My sister had an infant die in the womb at 9 months. They performed an induced, otherwise normal delivery of my niece's baby. And my sister was physically fine. I was privileged to hold my niece in my arms. I'm going to cry here. As well as drive up to her family cemetery, plot for burial. A deeply sad time, but in no way in need of an abortion. I had a very, very close friend. I have a close friend who had exact same thing. I mean, it's the most traumatizing. I can't imagine anything more traumatizing. Baby was fine, 8.5 months, and then not moving like it should, and like that, it just passed. This was pre anything related to the jibby jab, so don't connect that. And then was induced into labor and had to deliver a lifeless baby. And okay, horror. I can't imagine anything more horrific than that. Viva, have you seen the earpiece she wore? Her earrings are the exact match for a product that is a stealth earpiece. Well, that'll be the good segue into that because I have that on the back burner as well. Let's bring it up, shall we? Some rumors going about, and rumors that have been debunked allegedly by Ian Miles Chong. Now, the reason why I say allegedly, because Ian Miles, I don't know him. I catch his videos. He's been very wrong sometimes. I can't think of anything offhand. He sometimes recirculates stuff. They call it engagement farming. I don't know what you would call it. Sometimes he gets things wrong. And so I am verifying everything from everybody. But sometimes he gets it wrong. Now, he fact-checked this story because the news was going around. Oh, my goodness. Kamala was wearing an earpiece. And it's questionable as to whether or not she was. And as I talk, trying to kill the time it takes for me to get the damn thing up, I can't do it. Now I have to go back to here. He debunked it. So there was a rumor going around, or information or potentially disinformation, that Kamala Harris was wearing earbuds that were things that are earrings that are actually earpieces. Okay, so that's the thing. Now I'm going to go try to find. That's the thing, says he as he zooms in on the face of the thing. And people are saying it looks exactly like this product. I'm going to get the product in a second so you can see. Ian Miles Chong says, no. They're just what Kamala wore. The earrings are made of 18 karat gold, 9 to 10 millimeters South Sea pearl. Ian says it was Tiffany's that she wears a lot. So the internet's going to get to the bottom of this. I don't know where to go yet. I don't know which way I'm leaning on this. What I would love to see, let me see if I can get the actual earpiece rumor. I mean, even if it's just 18 karat gold, Tiffany, 9 to 10 millimeter South Sea pearls. Even if that's true, she's just an upper class girl who's now wearing $3,000 earrings. The thing is this also, and I'm thinking like the idea of me dropping something that's worth $3,000, like earrings fall out all the time. Who the hell wears I don't mean to be judgmental. A lot of people have a lot of money and they don't care if they lose it. Who the hell wears a $3,000? Or I mean, they get even more. If those things can just fall out and you're like, you're home at the end of the day, like, oh shit, where's my earring? I had a family friend who lost a diamond out of their ring at a family celebration, not someone who knows my family. And like they went and vacuumed up the entire floor of the ceremony hall and then went through the garbage to find the diamond that popped out of a ring. Like, my goodness, it's not my cup of tea because I don't like losing money. Let the jokes flow. So this is what is going on the internet. This looks like a sharpened image, and that's her earpiece. And this is the Nova H1 earring. Aren't your average ear candy. And then that's what it looks like. Now, I notice it looks a little different. I think it looks different, but I think I'm not sure that I'm buying into this yet. And who's the Maverick Approach? Let me see who this person is. Number one source for alternative news, wealth health, 97,000 on Instagram. Not bad. All right. Shout out to this. I don't know that this is accurate yet. So you got H1 Nova. Those look different than the ones Kamala has on. And see this one, if you look at it, it's the thing like this. It's coming down like this. Sort of like a U holding a ball, which is also quite fitting for Kamala. But let's go over here. This one does not look like the same thing. So my assessment, until evidence to the contrary, don't run with it. Don't recirculate wild conspiracy theories. And like hypothetically, even if they were going to do it, I mean, they're dumb, but they're not that dumb. They're not going to use a product that you can just Google afterwards and see how dumb they are that they went with. They're not going to do it. I don't think it's true. I don't think it looks identical. It looks very similar. I want to know how much those earrings cost. I couldn't find those earrings on Tiffany, so maybe they're not Tiffany's, but I couldn't find those earrings. So that was a long-winded answer saying Encryptus. I've seen it. And Encryptus, by the way, I think you're smarter than me. And I'm not joking. What do you think? And if there's evidence, you don't need to do a tip. Put it in the chat and I'm going to go see. Put it in the comment side of our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community and I'll have a peek at it because I'm not convinced. I think they look sufficiently different and there's no way in hell that even if they were going to do it, they would do it so dumb. Plus, she would have performed better if she got the earpiece. GZV, you don't think the CIA cannot create an earpiece? No, I think they could, says Hardrada on YouTube. I think they could, which is why I don't think they're going to go buy an off-the-shelf earpiece. They're going to make it look like an actual real earring. And so, yeah, they could do it, but if they could do it, they're not going to go do it with a commercially available piece that everyone's going to rat her out or sniff it out the day after. Pasha Moyer says the earring might just be a red herring. Clandestine earpieces that fit far down the ear canal have been around for a long time. Yeah, I think it's actually, I would be more suspicious that it would be not troll accounts, but what's the word I'm looking for? When you want to sabotage accounts or saboteurs trying to get conservatives to run with fake news so they can then say, oh, look at this idiot. He retweeted the story with affirmation that she was wearing an earpiece. It's totally laughably stupid and therefore discredit this person for the rest of their lives. That's what I think is probably more likely. Okay, these okay, so bottom line, by the way, I played this yesterday and I said, and it got a fair bit of traction on Twitter. How do I see that? Oh, 2.2 million views. Okay, good. Anyhow,
when I was Attorney General,
Trump got
I learned that the California Department of Corrections, which was a client of mine,
I
didn't get to choose my client.
didn't get to choose a client of the Attorney General.
A client of the Attorney General, of the Office of Attorney General, that they were standing in the way of surgery.
For prisoners.
And there was a specific case.
Not
and when I
surgery,
learned about
not
this-
surgery. Elective transgender body mutilation, which is fine if you want to do it. I have no problem if a consenting, fully grown, sane adult wants to do it. We're not talking about surgery. Standing in the way.
I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California.
Good for you,
so that
Kamala.
every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access
Good
to the
for you.
medical
Really
care
fighting for what Americans
that
want
they
and need.
desired and need. And I believe it was not only, I know it was historic in California, but I believe actually it may have been one of the first, if not the first in the country, where I pushed for that policy in a Department of Corrections. When I was Attorney General.
Well, the only reason I posted that yesterday, tagged Elon, to make sure Trump gets, he got to it. He could have said it a few more times if I want to be, the backseat driver, Monday morning quarterback. Could have hammered it home a few more times. Could have answered that question about the border bill a little bit better. Let me put this over here. And yeah, but he did drop that one last night. So if I may pat myself on the back, I will. Do we want to? I got to save something good for our. I got to say something good for our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community. Let me see this one here. We played Warnock. Okay, we got to this one already. I'm going to save the other two for vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Get your butts on over if you are so inclined for the after party. Link to Locals. Come on now. You hear? I say. You better come on over to Locals and vivabarneslaw.locals. You better be a member. Link to Locals. Now, someone the other day had a great one for the Army. It was Freiheit, but it can't be only my last name because that would be unfair to Barnes. Okay, let me get the. There was a Rumble rant which I'm not seeing in the donation side of things here. Let me just go read it. Share the screen. Come on over to Locals. We're gonna have a fun after party. There's a good Gavin Newsom clip out there and some other stuff we're gonna take some questions. Crash Bandit says, steal my tax dollars from me, then tell me you are buying my guns back with the money you stole from me. That is not gun confiscation. They love pooping on language, so it checks out. No, it's amazing. It's a mandatory buyback of your property with your money. That's called confiscation. It's called mobster confiscation. And not to mention cutting the dicks off of aliens, illegal immigrants who are detained with your taxpayer dollars, while veterans take their own lives at a rate that is what, 4-1, 7-1, the national average. It is so in your face and offensive. It's intended to be so because it's intended to be demoralizing. You do not own your life. You do not own your country. You do not own your own property or your own money. Corn on Macabre says, I love the joke. I ran a background check on the government and found they are not fit to be gun owners, so I kept them. LMAO. That's very funny. Mighty Megatron says, I had a rant. Oh, there it is right there. Heels Up Harris has gifted her positions in San Francisco. Heels Up Harris was gifted her positions in San Francisco because she had good insight. You trying to get me canceled is what Mighty Megatron is trying to get. Yeah, Viva, misogynist. It was so misogynist. First of all, I think we do criticize man whores as well. I think there's actually a term called man whores for people who sleep around and think it makes them macho. Known fact. It's a known fact. There's nothing to apologize for anymore. Viva, how much donation do you get when you're... Hold on. Oh, don't close the screen. I just want to move the thing. This is from Ganthit. Viva, how much of a donation do you get to do your hair like Don King and just repeat your foghorn leghorn impression you just did? Dude, I could do that. Back when I was in high school, I used to blow dry my hair every day. It was straight as an arrow. I posted the picture in Locals once upon a time. I do believe my daughter has come home with a friend there right now. I'll think about it, Ganthit. $735 is the Nova earring bud. So let's see what these look like. Anyways, I'm still not buying it, but... And I'll tell you one thing. In as much as the more... that's not what they look like. And yeah, I'm not falling for that yet. I'm gonna be I'll be late to the story if it's true, but I don't believe it. I feel better. Do you feel better? I like you. Do you like me? Everybody. Oh, there's one thing. So everybody on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed and that you have notifications turned on. Everybody on Rumble, make sure that you're subscribed. Drop a thumbs up. How many are we up to? 477 thumbs up. We're pretty good. 6,000 people watching. We should be at least at 6,000 thumbs up. And come over to Locals if you are so inclined. Link to Locals. Now, by the way, 6 o'clock tonight, Unusual Suspects. We talk about the debate. We talk about 9/11. What else do we talk about? Fun stuff. It's going to be good. 6 o'clock. They're on YouTube only, or at least, the Unusual Suspects. At 5:05, I'm going to be on with Richard Surrett radio show. I'll publish the audio for that afterwards. And we raise the roof. Barnheit. Smash that like harder, you bigots, says Jacob Castro. Kamala loves pearls. Look at the... Come on, man. Okay, there's some stuff in there. So hit the thumbs up before you leave. Make sure that you are subscribed, that you have notifications turned on. And if you are so inclined, come on over to Rumble and become a supporter. This is the supporters only after party. And if you don't want to, you can become a member. No financial support required. Oh, before we go. Wait. Get some merch. I can't believe I always forget to push the merch, to remind everybody that we've got amazing merch. You got the fight hat. Check this out. Check this Uday. Where's my... See, I don't have the fight hat yet. I got my Trump hat. But you can get your fight hat at vivafrei.com. We got a bunch of other stuff as well. So now I'm just killing time until you guys come on over. Viva Barnes, you got the mug, shot glass, Viva Barnes stuff there. What else we got? We got Don't Vote for an Idiot somewhere down here. There we go. If I ever see someone wearing this in public, that will be the ultimate sign that I've made it in life. If I randomly run into a subscriber, a member of the community wearing Don't Vote for an Idiot, or any merch for that matter in public, automatic selfie. Okay. All right, that's it. That's it. Now I'm really done. Now we're going to go over to locals only. Thank you all for being here. I'll be live. It's Wednesday today, so I'll be live tomorrow on Thursday, 12:30. Who the hell knows what we're going to talk about? Surely something's going to happen between now and then. And don't call me Shirley. And maybe I'll have a guest on tomorrow. We'll see. Thank you all for being here. Come over to Viva Barnes Law because I got some fun stuff. A Gavin Newsom clip. Let me see here. Gavin Newsom, total jackass. Don Lemon. Oh, a Don Lemon clip. And that's it. Done. I will hit the button now and go to locals supporters only. Thank you all for being here. Jokes aside, thank you all for being here. Share away, share my stuff so that you can help it grow. It's the ultimate flattery to have someone listening as I scream at the sky. So with that said, I'm going to go scream at the sky in our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community. Peace out. If you're not coming, see you tomorrow. Boom.